episode 2 of Crime Time with Dr. Debbie. I'm your host, Dr. Debbie Goodman, and we are delighted to have the esteemed police chief from our Miami Gardens community, Chief Noel-Pratt. And we are very, very excited, Chief Noel-Pratt, to have you in our campus community and with the opportunity to share with our students all of your meaningful background, credentials, your advice to them, because really the podcast is for the students and all about them succeeding not only in our classroom but the world of work. So thank you again for taking time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, a pleasure and honor. Would you kindly start by telling us about yourself and your experiences, and how did you first get interested and involved in law enforcement?
Well, I became interested in law enforcement many years ago. Actually, I wanted to be an attorney.
Mm,
What happened was I was introduced to crime, let me say that way. Basically, I was walking down a street in Detroit, Michigan, where I'm originally from, with my sister, and there was a young man that actually robbed us.
oh my,
And as a
sorry.
result of that, I decided that I wanted to be on the other side
Mhm.
and do my part as far as helping others that were affected by crime.
Wow.
So I wanted to go into the law field. I
Mhm.
wanted to be an attorney. And I figured that my steps towards that career field would be going into law enforcement and being a police officer.
Mhm.
So hence, that's how I became a police officer.
Wow,
Yes.
so from a very negative experience to then turn the 31 years of your stellar career
Yes.
into really helping people.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your service, and we appreciate and admire the
so much.
contributions. Chief Pratt, can you also tell us about, obviously, with so many years of your involvement, your contributions, and now moving through ranks of the career, what do you think is the indicators of an excellent police chief?
Well, there's a lot of different aspects to becoming a police chief. I've been doing this for over 31 years, 7 years as a police chief. Prior to that, 24 and a half years with Miami-Dade Police Department, moving through the ranks. When I left there, I was a division chief, doing investigations, doing patrol work, community policing, things of that nature. But the aspect of being a police chief, one of the key things is to be a good listener.
Mm,
You have to make sure that you not only listen to the troops, you listen to your co-workers, but you also listen to the community.
mhm,
You have to actually make sure that you instill things that the community needs and things that they want. Every community is different, so therefore you have to make sure that you listen to them and you actually put into place different things that they would like to see, whether it be various community policing aspects, whether it be, if crime is high, what can we do together, working in partnership to decrease crime? Because it's important for you to listen to the people.
mhm.
In addition to that, empathy, making sure that you have empathy for the ones on the outside as well as on the inside. There's a lot of people going through a lot of different things, as you know, these days. We just recently had COVID hit,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of people dealing with stress, mental
Yes.
mental illness is a lot. It's an area that is very important. Domestic violence
Mhm.
is very important. In fact, we have a domestic violence walk that's coming up October 19th, just to make sure that we bring awareness to
Mhm.
those in the community, as well as make sure that we showcase what we do as far as, that serious subject matter, because
Mhm.
it really, really is important for us to showcase that we are a part of this community. In addition, being a police chief, you have to have a lot of resilience, making sure that you have accountability associated with, leading the organization, and that you do it in a strong manner,
Mhm.
because that's what a lot of folks want to see. A police chief who is strong, that stays focused, make sure that she or he holds their persons under their tutelage accountable for all their various actions,
Yes.
whether it be how we deal with persons within the community, use of force, whether it be our communications, various, vast amount of areas.
Mhm.
In addition, you got to be a critical thinker. You have to think outside the box and make sure that you look at things, forecast things, and look at things that are going to make not only the community better, but your police department better, whether it be the hiring, making sure that you hire, the best of the best, and try to have a balance, because you don't want to just hire any and everybody, but you want to make sure that you have a diverse
Mhm.
not only command staff structure, but you have to have a diverse police department, whether it be from the civilians to the sworn individuals. You have to make sure everything is balanced. Pay attention to detail. You're not going to always get it right. However, you have to pay attention to detail and see different things that are going on. If you see a young officer that's struggling through the many facets of life, making sure that they get certain things, or certain, whether it be EAP employment, employee, benefits to help them struggle well, which
Yes.
is another sense where they can actually sit down and talk to others, because a lot of us are going through a lot of the same things.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when they have that conversation, it lends them to understand that they're not alone. And there's
Mhm.
others that are there to help them in many,
Yes.
many different ways. So just a little bit of different things that a police
Excellent.
chief needs to have.
Yes, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Chief Noel-Pratt, so many of our students who are watching, again, the purpose is for them to have the excellent training, education, mentorship, involvement. But as we expose them to these different career paths and opportunities, we know that there would be advantages and disadvantages. So might you speak to that? What would you consider to be advantages of being a police officer and some potential disadvantages, perhaps?
Disadvantages, I can say, well, your life is pretty much an open book. Once you become a police officer, you're a police officer 24/7,
Yes.
so to speak. And so therefore you're held to a higher standard, and you have to make sure that you hold yourself accordingly and that you act appropriately at all times. Once you put on that uniform and you have that badge, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. So therefore you have to make sure that you are, like I said, doing things, uh, whether you're within the county that you work for or outside the county that you work for,
Mhm.
you have to make sure that you are doing things built in with a lot of integrity,
Yes.
and respect, professionalism at all times.
Mhm.
Because in this day and age, especially, you have people with a lot of phones
Sure.
and cameras and things of that nature. And so you want to make sure that you tell your own story, you build your own narrative, and that someone else is not telling your story.
Yes.
The advantages is to networking, getting to know so many different people. I've met so many different people in my career, from little kids to, the seniors. It's just so important for us to talk to so many different people. And that's like one of the best parts of being a police officer. You just get to engage with a lot of different people and hear their story, and they get to hear yours, and just how everything comes together. And I always tell people it's like 360 in life. When you're a police officer, a lot of things just comes back around. And you could be at the mall one day and you just see somebody that you actually helped, last week or so, or you were able to discuss something with them, on a scene, and then next, you see them in a non, in a non-professional manner
Mhm.
like that. And it's an amazing thing to be a police officer, because you're just built in and you're part of the community.
Excellent. Thank
Yes.
you for that.
You're welcome.
Speaking of the stories and such, clearly in a 31-year career, you must have a lot of stories, but might you be able to share one that just really stands out in your mind? Either you were able to help somebody, you were able to intervene in a challenging circumstance.
Well, in this profession, there's a lot of challenges. As you may know, you see a lot of different things day in and day out, some good and some bad. A lot of the bad things I can actually remember. Most recently, there was a situation where a young man got upset with his wife, and he took it upon himself to kill his wife,
Sorry.
and actually take it out on his daughter
Oh,
also.
mm,
And it was just such a very bad way. It was with a machete.
oh boy.
And it was such a bad way that it just took me back home to, like, what if that was my,
Yes,
my family member,
sure.
and it just resonated in a bad way with a lot of members of my police department, to the point that I had to bring in professionals to
Mhm.
talk to them. And I had to take my time to step back because, a lot of times we don't realize that behind the badge, we are human.
Of course.
And so a lot of the things that we see, we connect with it and we may take it home with us.
Mhm.
And so we have to make sure that we digress and we seek assistance also, because like I said, we're human, and we take that to heart,
Mhm.
and we want the best for our community members. We want
Yes,
the best for our employees. So a lot of times we have to make sure that we take time out for ourselves also.
absolutely. Very
Yes.
important. Chief, we are in the beautiful city here of Miami Gardens, where we have the premier St. Thomas University, an excellent police department, and we know you're doing a lot of great things for many people. So perhaps can you share with our students, our viewers, what are some of the projects either that you have directly been involved in and contributing to community, and or that are coming up? I know you mentioned the domestic violence walk, which I think our criminal justice club would love to participate
Yes, by
and
all
join
means.
you in
And I
that.
actually have a flyer.
Oh, yay.
Tell
Okay.
you the date and time and everything like that, and all
Yes,
the things we're gonna have to offer
we
on
will
that
be there.
particular date.
Thank
So,
you. And I
yes.
think that's so important for our students to literally and figuratively be by your side, supporting police, supporting these issues in our community. It makes a difference.
Like I said, it's our community.
Yes,
It takes all of us, whether it be from the educational aspect, whether it be from from the political aspect, whether it be from the law enforcement, it's all of us together that it takes to make sure that we have a successful, nice, positive community.
absolutely. And
Yes.
hence the whole idea of community policing, not just the idea, but the implementation of that and what that
Yes.
really means, working together and
Yes.
not the philosophy of an us versus them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Coffee with a Cop that's upcoming. We
Can you
usually
tell the
try to do
students
it.
about that? That's awesome.
National Coffee with a Cop Day is October 2nd, and so we'll be having it at the two McDonald locations that we have within our city, off of 47th and 183rd, and off of 441.
Beautiful.
We'll be having it on that date, 9 a.m. in the morning, and we would love to see you all there
Thank you.
at either location, and I'll be, going back and forth.
Yes.
And we also have something, we have a roundtable discussion that's coming up. It's going to be October the 11th
Mm,
at Betty T. Ferguson Recreational Center, which
sure,
is
right
3000
here.
Northwest 199th Street,
Mhm.
6 p.m. And just have a heart-to-heart conversation
Great.
about what's going on in our community. And I would love to see you all there also. This is something, Faith in Blue.
Faith in Blue.
It is something that is national. And this is like the third or fourth year that
Mhm.
we participated in it. And so we want to make sure that we get the word out, and we allow everybody to understand that, different faith-based communities coming together with law enforcement in the community is so, so important
Mhm.
for us to have that mindful conversation about how do we move forward with our community in the best way and work together. It's all about partnership. All of this is about partnership, and having that dialogue, and make sure we talk about the things that affect us, because
Yes.
like I said, it's important to all of us in
Yes.
various ways.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chief, your career of 31 years and mine as an educator and
Yes.
professor are
Yes.
pretty closely aligned, but clearly we're familiar with, we're concerned about crimes. So are there certain crimes that you are particularly concerned about today that maybe weren't necessarily on the forefront when you started your career?
Well, one that is hitting across the nation, it's not a Miami Gardens problem, but it's across the nation. You hear about it day in and day out. It's gun violence. You can turn on the
Yes.
TV. and you hear about, people are just, anger.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of, um, people are having issues managing their anger.
Yes.
And so therefore, it's so easy for them to pick up a gun and to go ahead and take it out on someone else. And so I think that's why a lot of the things that we're trying to do also in the community has to do with how do you change that narrative? How
Mhm.
do you go ahead and, push that anger and in a different way? We have a lot of programs that are directed toward our youth,
Mhm.
especially because we want to make sure that we hit that younger age, and because they're going to be our future.
Of course.
So we have things like our Police Explorer program where we teach them about teamwork in conflict resolution and just, team building and things of that nature. We also work together hand in hand with Big Brothers Big Sisters, where a lot of our officers and civilian staff, they're mentors
Mhm.
to our youth that are part of the Miami Norland Senior High School, Carroll City High School students from the age of 14 or to 18. And, we meet with them, we talk to them about etiquette, about, professionalism, how do they present themselves. We even talk to them on a personal level, are they dealing with any stressful situations, how to deal with that,
Mhm.
because it's so important. With our police athletic league, we just received a few grants to work with our kids that are involved in that and to teach them about how to, deal with conflicts,
Mhm.
how to deal with stress.
Yes.
And so, we even have a portion of various schools that we're connected with. We have, it's called Zendan,
Zen.
right? So you teach them how to maybe meditate, how to discuss different things so they don't, end up on that other side of the spectrum.
Mhm.
Like I was stated initially, gun violence. We do not want individuals to pick up a gun and next thing you know, they end up in jail. We want to hit them before, it gets to that level. And we want to talk to them about their psyche because it's
Yes.
so important. The mental aspect is so, so important. And the emotional aspect is so important. And just to let them know that we are vested in them, that we
Mhm.
love them, because a lot of these youth, they're searching for love.
Mhm.
That's why they get involved in gangs and things of that nature, because they're looking for someone to actually gravitate to. And we
Yes.
want to be the ones or the department that they gravitate to.
Excellent.
Yes.
And that's why your programs such as the PAL and the Police Explorers and just the whole concept of community policing and having young people really have an understanding of an appreciation for our law enforcement experts can absolutely be a game changer.
In addition, we do something called walk and knock, because what we realize too is a lot of communities need resources. They need resources. You may have individuals that are unemployed. They want to know how to deal with expungements and different things like that.
Mhm.
Whether it be, how to deal with, they have babysitting issues, childcare issues, you name it.
Yes.
And so we want to bring the resources to them. So when we do our walk and knocks, we go ahead and we bring the resources to them. We work together with a gentleman by the name of Wayne Rollins.
Mhm.
And we go ahead with the walk in one stop and we bring all the different resources to the various communities, because sometimes they can't get to the various locations. They can't get to the state attorney's office. But if we can bring someone from that location to their house,
Mhm.
to their door, they can have that conversation and they can find that job. So that has been a very, very good program that we've been attached to also.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, you've had so many goals. You continue to have goals for the police department, for the community. May you please share some of that with our students, with our viewers, that what's still on the horizon for you?
Well, on the horizon, is still, we want to make sure that we're hiring, continuously hiring, whether it be sworn or non-sworn individuals, whether it be, the ones that want to go into the academy, the cadet level, or whether it be the ones that are certified already. maybe they want to come from another police department and they want to come to our police department, be a part of our program, our team. We would love to have them. Not only that, but making sure that we bring a very robust technology to all the different aspects of the community. We just recently outfitted a new mobile command vehicle,
Mm,
which you'll see next week, I believe. We'll be out here next week, and it just showcasing the technology that we have at our fingertips, whether it be the license plate readers, whether it be the facial recognition, different things, aspects that we have. It's just so important for us to make sure that we move forward and progress with the times and make sure that as the time changes, we change with the times, and that we make sure that we incorporate a lot of these different aspects. We have body worn cameras. A lot
Yes.
of people don't know that our police department, we have body worn
How do you
cameras.
feel about that, by the
And
way?
I feel very good about it
Good.
because in a lot of in various aspects, it has allowed to showcase that the officer did do the right thing,
Mhm.
you know. A lot of the officers were very scared about it, and
At
they
the
didn't
beginning.
really understand it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But once they understood exactly that this can actually showcase that you did something positive, you
Yes.
did the right thing, they were like, okay, this is good for us, you
Mhm.
know. So I think just different things like that is very good, making sure that we keep up with the times,
Mhm.
make sure that we're always looking to how can we transform our police department to make it the best
Mhm.
of the best. Making sure that we work continuously in partnership with other police departments. We know that coming up in a couple of months is the new sheriff will be,
Yes.
put in place in January, and
Mhm.
he or she, we have to make sure we continue that dialogue and that partnership
Right.
with the Miami-Dade Police Department because it's so, so important, for us to work together. Because like I said, we're all going through the same thing,
Mhm.
and we want to make sure that we all showcase that one voice moving forward. So just different things like that, it's very good.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And Chief, so many of our students watching, our viewers in the community are thinking about their next steps, whether it's in education, completing their degree. Certainly with us here at St. Thomas University, we take that very seriously, making sure that every student who starts with us finishes with us. But then the next steps, of course, would be career. So as a police chief, what can you tell our students that you would directly be looking for in terms of who would you hire? What types of backgrounds and experiences and characteristics and qualities are you looking for today, 2024, moving forward to build your next generation of leaders?
Well, definitely someone that's professional, in all aspects. You have to make sure you have a professional outlook, that you not only speak professionally, but you also look professional. That's so, so important because every day is an interview. You have to
Yes.
make sure that you showcase yourself. The first thing that someone sees about you is your appearance.
Mhm.
um, the first thing that they judge you by is what comes out of your mouth.
Yes.
So it's important for you to make sure that you do your research, that you go ahead, and if this is what you really want to do, that you look into it and you talk to other individuals who are doing this particular job, and you say, listen, what is it that you do? What does it mean to be a police officer? What can I expect? Different things like that. You have to do your research because this job is not for everyone.
Mhm.
We want individuals that are caring, compassionate about the community that they serve. And one thing that I like to tell people is you take it as, if you're dealing with a situation, if this was my mother, if this was my father, how would I want them to be treated?
Yes.
So therefore, you want to make sure you have that compassionate or that passion for this job. It's so, so important.
Absolutely.
And if you can, while you're you're contemplating, get that degree. It's
Mhm.
important for you to educate yourself and just elevate yourself to another level, because it's a part of marketing too. You gotta
Mhm.
market yourself, and you want to showcase that you are the best person for this job.
Yes.
What makes you different than the next person,
Mhm.
right? So therefore, you want to make sure that you elevate yourself to another level. That way, that person can't turn you down. They can only say, yes, here you go.
Yes.
Sign on the dotted line. That's what
Yeah.
you want to do. So I would tell them to do that. Just stay steadfast, don't give up.
Mhm.
Believe in yourself, make sure you stay engaged. Just like I was talking about the different things, events that we have coming up, come out to the different community events that we have, and come have dialogue with me and my staff, and we'll surely tell you different aspects about the police department, because it's not just about being a sworn law enforcement officer too. We have individuals in the police department that are analysts.
Sure.
And a lot of people don't understand, what is an analyst? You know,
Yeah.
they actually analyze the crime. They actually pinpoint, where should we go based
Mhm.
on, the days of the week, or the time. They direct us on where to go. There's a person within our police department that's a pre-diversion
Mhm.
coordinator. And that's so important, because
Absolutely.
people make mistakes sometimes, but how do they get a second chance?
Yes.
That person that may have shoplifted from a store, but maybe that they needed that loaf of bread because
Mhm.
their child was hungry or whatnot. They need a second chance. They don't
Yes.
deserve to go to jail.
Mhm.
And then you have communications. We have telecommunicators, the ones that actually dispatch the calls, and they're the first ones that actually get the information to the officers, and let them know exactly where to go, and what to look out for based on historical information.
Mhm.
We have administrative assistants, that are so critical. They're the ones behind the scenes. They don't get the credit, but they're the ones who are looking at various documents and making sure that we have everything that we need to have in line. So there's so many different, job opportunities within police departments that a lot of people are not
Mhm.
aware of, and I want to make sure that they understand that we are, a plethora of information and opportunities, and so by all means.
Excellent. Well, believe it or not, we are almost out of time. However, I would still like to give Chief Noel-Pratt just the last couple of minutes for anything to tie up any loose ends, or if we didn't cover anything that you think might still be important for the students to know and understand.
We need a few good men, a few good women on our police department for all aspects. And by all means, if you want to be a part of this great organization, go to our website, Miami Gardens, City of Miami Gardens website, and see of the various opportunities that are there for you. Like I said, you don't have to be a sworn law enforcement officer. That's not your cup of tea, so to speak. If you would like to, be behind the scenes and be a crime scene investigator, by all means, that's another aspect that you can come and be a part of our police department. We would love to have you. We're looking for some young, innovative individuals that want to grow with our police organization, with our city, because the city is just continuously growing. Right now, we have 35 acres within the city, that's off of 27th Avenue, that dirt area, if you've ever been in that area, off of between 194th and like 187th Street, that's going to be developed. And that's going to be actually the downtown of Miami Gardens. And it's going to be so robust, and it's going to bring so many jobs and a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects for a lot of different people. So if you want to be part of our organization, by all means, come out to a lot of the different events that I already talked about, and, just have conversation.
Fantastic. Well, Chief Noel-Pratt, you have been such a
Yes.
delightful guest. And
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for episode 2 of Crime Time with Dr. Debbie at St. Thomas University. I'm your host, Dr. Debbie Goodman, and we will look forward to more crime-related dialogue on episode 3. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Well, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost out of time, but I would like to allow Chief Noel-Pratt just some last minute thoughts, tie up the loose ends, anything we didn't cover, and just some parting words for our students and viewers in your expert opinion.
Well, we're always looking for some great men and women who would like to join our organization. Like I stated before, you don't have to be a sworn law enforcement officer to be a part of a police department. You can be non-sworn. We have telecommunicators that are part of our police department that are behind the scenes, actually giving the calls to the officers out there on the road. They're directing them on where to go and how to go. And then we have crime scene investigators that are part of our police department also. We have analysts that actually analyze the crime and put the pieces together so that we can understand exactly what's happening in our community, the dates, the times, and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different aspects that, or positions that are within the police department that are so critical. So our police department, it's so important, and it helps me as a police chief, as far as, knowing exactly what resources we need, how to transform the community and how to work in partnership with the community. So there's a lot of different aspects that go into it that allow me to do the job that I do.
Excellent. Well, Chief Noel-Pratt, you have been such a
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am. I
guest, and
appreciate it.
we appreciate your time and expertise today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Crime Time with Dr. Debbie at STU. We will look forward to having you again for episode 3. And for now, we thank you and appreciate your time. See you soon.
Thank you.